Now, you may think the danger from that explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear plant in Ukraine is no longer with us. The blast, back in 1986, sent a radioactive cloud over large parts of the Soviet Union and Western Europe. Here, the weather forecasts gained a huge new audience as people tried to work out if the emissions were coming their way and if rain would bring radioactive particles showering down onto their neighborhoods. Today, the extensive pine plantations close to the site are still contaminated, and Patrick Evans has been finding out there are fears that summer wildfires could have a devastating effect, not just locally, but further afield as well.
Heading north from Kiev, you can see old ladies and their granddaughters sitting waiting expectantly in the long grass, shaded from a sweltering sun, under the straight red eaves of tall, orderly Scots pines which line the road. It's blueberry season, and they're selling them by the plastic pint glass. You could pull in to haggle, but Sergei Zibtsev, a professor from the Forestry Institute at the Kiev University of Life Sciences, doesn't recommend it. They're laced with the radioactive particle strontium. Berries are highly efficient at soaking up and storing radioactive particles, huge quantities of which were dispersed over large parts of the Soviet Union and Western Europe by smoke from the explosion. Radiation measurement checks only take place in official markets, and usually only for another, different particle, cesium. As for the hundreds of makeshift fruit stalls run by old ladies, these are never checked at all. Having said this, the berries are not uniformly harmful. In an average pint of them, perhaps only a quarter will be contaminated. The main thing is to make sure that you don't put them on your cereal every day. Besides the blueberry sellers, the road on the fringes of the exclusion zone surrounding Chernobyl feels much busier than it did when I first came here with Sergei a couple of years ago. There's a girl in high heels tottering along the verge, chatting on her iPhone. A large barley field ripples in the wind, ready for harvesting. A young couple shoot by us on a moped. This region is slowly getting back to normal, says Sergei. People are returning to farm this once booming agricultural area. It's happening inside the exclusion zone too. Chernobyl Forestry Enterprise is now planting small new pine stands, which it plans to harvest in 80 years' time. But there are serious problems with the rest of Chernobyl's extensive pine plantations. Pine damages easily. Wind blows it down, and insects can infest it. Drought makes brush into perfect tinder, which can all too easily catch fire. And these dying radioactive plantations are considered too dangerous and expensive to clear. If ignited, one expert likens the potential effect to setting off a nuclear bomb in Eastern Europe. Wind could carry radioactive smoke particles large distances, not just in Ukraine, but right across the continent. To help establish or disprove such hypotheses, Sergei has come to Chernobyl to gather data about a megafire which spread unchecked and destroyed a huge area of Scots pine in 1992. A colleague is preparing a scientific paper on the fire's consequences, which are still largely unknown. Together they hope to attract funding to model the danger represented by Chernobyl's forest. If they can pinpoint the most vulnerable pine stands, the next step will be to persuade the Ukrainian government and other partners to invest in training and equipment to safeguard Chernobyl's firefighters, and perhaps eventually to clear those parts of the forest which are considered to be at the most risk. Firefighters in Chernobyl have one of the least enviable jobs in the world. They spend all day up rusty Soviet watchtowers which sway in the wind, rather like tin box metronomes, and act as conductors to the huge, frightening lightning storms which swing across the land most afternoons in summer, often sparking fires. When they spot a wildfire, the firefighters work out its position by liaising with colleagues in different watchtowers. Teams jump aboard big red Soviet-era fire trucks and lumber along cracked, overgrown roads to the source of the blaze. Their equipment is very basic, and although they know when they're fighting a radioactive fire, because they experience a tingling metallic sensation in their skin, their job description still belongs to heroic Soviet ideals. They must put the blaze out, no matter the personal consequences. Sergei says that more big wildfires in Chernobyl, like the one in 1992, would be catastrophic for Ukraine's image, and potentially devastating for farmland across Europe. Lots of people are working on the problem, which gets worse with each new hot summer. Sergei and his colleagues need support, not just to protect Chernobyl's firefighters from exposure to high doses of radiation, but also to stop the particles migrating up into the air and away wherever the wind blows them, spreading the legacy of an accident which many people think we can already safely forget.
Patrick Evans in Ukraine.